Laurence Heller's Healing Developmental Trauma: How Early Trauma Affects Self-Regulation, Self-Image, and the Capacity for Relationship is a groundbreaking work that explores the subtle yet profound impact of early relational trauma on human development. Unlike acute trauma, which arises from discrete catastrophic events, developmental trauma stems from chronic disruptions in the caregiving environment: neglect, misattunement, emotional unavailability, or inconsistent nurturing during childhood. Heller, a clinical psychologist and founder of the NeuroAffective Relational Model, NARM, offers both a theoretical framework and practical strategies for healing these wounds, emphasizing the restoration of self-regulation, self-image, and relational capacity. The book begins by distinguishing developmental trauma from shock trauma. While shock trauma results from sudden, overwhelming events such as accidents or assaults, developmental trauma is cumulative, often invisible, and deeply embedded in the nervous system. Heller explains that children rely on caregivers not only for physical survival, but also for emotional regulation and identity formation. When caregivers are absent, inconsistent, or intrusive, the child's nervous system adapts in ways that ensure survival but compromise long-term well-being. These adaptations manifest as chronic dysregulation, distorted self-image, and difficulties in forming healthy relationships. Central to Heller's approach is the NeuroAffective Relational Model, NARM, which integrates attachment theory, somatic psychology, and psychodynamic principles. NARM emphasizes that healing requires addressing both the physiological dysregulation of the nervous system and the psychological distortions of identity. Heller argues that trauma is not simply about what happened, but about how the nervous system adapted to survive. Therefore, therapy must focus on helping individuals reconnect with their authentic self, regulate their emotions, and dismantle the survival patterns that keep them stuck. Heller identifies 5 core survival styles that emerge from developmental trauma: connection, attunement, trust, autonomy, and love/sexuality. Each style corresponds to a developmental need that was disrupted in childhood. The connection survival style arises when a child's need for safety and belonging is unmet. Adults with this style may feel alienated, disconnected from their bodies, or struggle with intimacy. The attunement survival style develops when caregivers fail to meet the child's needs consistently. Survivors may grow up unable to identify or prioritize their own needs, often becoming caretakers for others while neglecting themselves. The trust survival style emerges when caregivers are unreliable or manipulative. Adults may struggle with dependency, oscillating between mistrust and over-reliance on others. The autonomy survival style results from caregivers who are controlling or intrusive. Survivors may resist authority, struggle with boundaries, or feel guilty for asserting independence. The love/sexuality survival style develops when affection and sexuality are confused or exploited. Adults may struggle to integrate love and desire, leading to difficulties in forming balanced intimate relationships. Heller emphasizes that these survival styles are not pathologies, but adaptive strategies. They represent the child's best attempt to survive in a compromised environment. However, when carried into adulthood, they perpetuate suffering, limiting self-expression and relational fulfillment. Healing involves recognizing these patterns, honoring their survival function, and gradually releasing them to reclaim authenticity. A major theme of the book is self-regulation. Developmental trauma disrupts the nervous system's ability to regulate arousal, leading to chronic states of hyperarousal, anxiety, agitation, or hypoarousal, numbness, depression. Heller explains that survivors often oscillate between these states, unable to sustain balance. NARM therapy focuses on helping clients notice these states, cultivate awareness, and develop tools for regulation. Techniques include grounding, mindfulness, and somatic awareness, which allow individuals to reconnect with their bodies and restore equilibrium. Another theme is self-image. Developmental trauma often instills deep shame, self-blame, and distorted identity. Survivors may internalize messages of unworthiness, believing they are fundamentally flawed. Heller emphasizes that these beliefs are not truths, but adaptations, ways the child made sense of inconsistent caregiving. Healing requires disentangling identity from trauma, recognizing that the authentic self is intact beneath survival patterns. NARM helps clients shift from self-judgment to self-compassion, fostering the healthier, more integrated self-image. The book also explores the capacity for relationship. Developmental trauma undermines trust, intimacy, and boundaries, making relationships fraught with conflict or avoidance. Survivors may fear abandonment, struggle with dependency, or reenact childhood dynamics. Heller argues that healing relational capacity requires both intra- and interpersonal work. By regulating emotions and reclaiming authentic identity, individuals can engage in relationships from a place of choice rather than compulsion. Therapy provides a corrective relational experience, where clients learn to trust, assert boundaries, and integrate love and sexuality in healthy ways.